Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy is brought to you in part by Tom's Place, the finest in men's fashion, located in Toronto at 190 Baldwin Street, in the heart of Kensington Market. Or visit toms-place.com. Celebrating 5 years. This is Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
What is mechanophilia?
If you drive a Jeep, does it have an Easter egg? Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Roy. And this week, we scoured the internet so that we could bring this totally useless information just for you and 80 countries around the world.
Plus, we'll answer your question in the mailbag segment. Which is the better way to pronounce words with the letter H or H? And in the news, it's the case of the Lou Done It.
Totally useless information. It's everything you never needed to know.
Yeah, there we go.
This is Totally Useless Vehicle Information with Nick, Meet Me, and Roy.
Welcome back to the show. You know, someone asked me what meet means and room from. I said, I can't disclose that. It's really top secret on our show.
Yeah.
So what do you got in terms of cars?
Okay. Daniel Craig, okay, he's the least known James Bond, the 007.
Yes.
You know, you had Sean Connery and you had the others, but Daniel Craig is one of the least known of the 007s.
Right.
But Daniel Craig, when he became 007 for the movie, I believe he only did one, he struck a deal with Aston Martin, the car company. And of course, James Bond drives an Aston Martin DB7.
Right.
But he struck a deal that he would get a free Aston Martin DB7 every time they changed the model.
Really?
And for the rest of his life. And I believe he's still alive, and he gets a DB7. If they change the model, they send one to 007.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty cool. So here's my teaser. Now, I happen to drive a Jeep, and Roy, you've driven Jeeps. I think your son drove a Jeep.
I know the answer to the question.
Do you?
So I'm not going to blow it for you, but go ahead.
Okay, so you know about the Easter eggs.
Yes.
Okay, so Easter eggs basically is it's like an egg hunt, right? Like Easter egg hunt, where basically it's like something hidden. Movies have this sometimes. So sometimes designers hide random fun details in their cars that you might not spot at first. And like I said, these are like Easter eggs. They're called Easter eggs. All the fun started in 1997 with the Jeep Wrangler. The iconic 7-bar grille on this redesign was duplicated into the cowl thanks to Michael Santoro, who wanted to further highlight the uniqueness of Jeep models. And as you've learned on our show, Listen, Laugh, and Learn, the 7-bar grille represents the 7 continents that Jeep is sold. So the inaugural Jeep Easter egg actually had a fundamental purpose alongside its fun designed flourish, as well as allowed more air to get into the vehicle. But ever since that little initial Easter egg was implemented, Jeep designers have had fun putting unique touches all across the vehicles. Like you can find Easter eggs in places like the headlights, taillights, window trims, cup holders, instrument cluster, liftgate, and many more secretive places. So you're telling us about...
Yeah, if you look on the windshield of Jeeps, a lot of times you'll see like this little Jeep.
Yeah.
That's part of the black molding around the window. You know, it's kind of cool. There's a lot of cool stuff. I know that I believe Genesis is doing that now, and some other car companies are putting where you open up the compartment and there's this little thing inside there. You know, that's
interesting.
An Easter egg. Yes. Many groups and agencies tried to ban any distractions in cars. This particular item was banned up until 1922 by a lot of different groups that thought it was terrible. But in 1922, Chevrolet offered the option for a AM radio.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, listen, the price was a staggering $200. Cars were a couple of $1,000s, if that. Even if that, it was $200 to have a radio put in it.
That's expensive.
But it was offered in 1922. Before that, these groups successfully banned it from being placed in a car.
How dare they? So we're on the iHeartRadio Talk Network. Of course, you can listen to us on an app, but we are on terrestrial radio as well, all across Canada.
Or extraterrestrial radio.
Well, that's us, right. And so thank you for those people who put AM radio in
Could you
cars.
imagine if they knew what I was doing in the back seat of a car?
Exactly. That's how they came up with FM.
They would have all cars would be two-seaters.
The Rolls-Royce, we're going to call this the ghost car. The Rolls-Royce Ghost car is a full-size luxury car manufactured by Rolls-Royce. The Ghost nameplate was in honor of the Silver Ghost, the first car produced in 1906.
My dad's friend had a Silver Cloud, which was another model that Rolls-Royce had produced, and it had in the front doors, you could flap down these beautiful wooden with the handle, and inside was Lalique crystal bottles that you could put liquor in and 2 glasses. You talk about a distraction.
Distraction? Never mind, distraction. Against the law.
Mechanophilia. That was my teaser.
Okay.
Mechanophilia. What is it?
It sounds serious.
It is very serious, I'll have you know.
Right?
It is the sexual attraction to cars and machinery, but mainly cars. One man, Edward Smith, let's hope his name is not really Smith, but
right. Well,
he says his name is Edward Smith. He has had over 1,000 sexual relationships with cars.
Oh.
Right now, though, he says, I am in a serious relationship with a Volkswagen Beetle that he has named Vanilla. This is actually a true story.
Is it really?
Listen, I am not making this up. This is true. This
Vanilla.
man has sex with his car.
That's just sick. I mean, come on.
It's sick. Vanilla,
It is.
the Volkswagen Beetle, is now his steady girlfriend.
How about a cool car? So you're in a hot climate, right? Like, what's the normal temperature? Like,
Nick, anywhere I am is a hot climate.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. I think your pickup line was always, "Are you hot in here, or is it just me?" You're like, so, which never really worked. So you live in Florida, and it's hot pretty much year round. I mean, the temperatures in the 80s.
weatherman has the best job in the world.
That's
he gives
right.
the same forecast every single day.
So 80s and 90s in that scale. If you're Canadian, it's like the high 20s and low 30s Celsius. Okay.
Yeah, which is when I was hot in the 80s.
That's right. Now, of course, we have air conditioners in our cars. Most cars do, but here is a useless way. Now, this is not even useful, so I'm not going to play that jingle that we play when we have you. This is a useless way for you to
We'll be the judge. Nick.
instantly cool down your hot car. Roll down a window on one side.
Yes.
And open and close the door on the other side 5 to 6 times. So you roll down the window on one side, you get out of the car and open up the other side and open and close the door 5 or 6 times, and that will cool down your car.
Wow. And here's a useful fact.
Uh-oh.
People that own Dodge ProMaster vans, which is the van that I had, that my RVs, I had 2 of them, RVs, were made on the Dodge ProMaster platform. But if you're a worker and have a Dodge ProMaster, you'll realize that when you go to close the side door, the sliding door, you have to really, really give it a good slam or it doesn't close. It kind of stays open a little bit.
Okay.
But if you roll down the passenger window, literally like not even a quarter of an inch, it doesn't create a vacuum inside the vehicle, and you can just slam the door, like just slide it, and it closes.
So
give it a try, folks, if you have a Ram ProMaster or a van for that matter that has a sliding door.
So for those of you in our listening audience in 80 countries around the world and coast to coast to coast in Canada on the iHeartRadio Talk Network, we sincerely apologize for that useful information. You know what? We should have the voice lady do that. Every time we provide some useful information, We should
Yeah.
have her say that. We apologize. Okay, so I'm going to do
Yeah,
that.
we should have like that noise from like the movies, like
Yeah. Well,
like
that's
the
our
warning
version.
buzzer.
Yeah, that's our
Yeah.
version of it.
Get ready for this one, Nick.
I'm ready.
BMW.
Yes.
You know what it stands for?
British? No, they're not British. They're German, aren't they? Yeah, so German,
Yes.
Bavarian something.
Bavarian Motor Works.
Right.
Okay, so that's an easy one.
Yeah.
You didn't get it
That's
right
right.
away, but
That's why it's
a pretty-
easy.
I thought you would.
Okay.
I threw it out there, but okay.
Yeah, so did I.
Nick has a car named Vanilla as well.
Right. No.
Nick's car's named Chocolate.
No. My car has Neapolitan flavors. It has 3 flavors. Strawberry, chocolate, and vanilla.
How about this one, Nick?
Yeah.
Where did Hyundai get its name from?
Oh.
So Hyundai
Yeah.
is a Korean car company,
Right.
and its name means in Korean the present age.
Oh, okay.
So like now, the
Right.
now
Right.
is what Hyundai means in Korean. Well, get ready. Mazda. How does Mazda get its name?
Yesterday?
No, from the Zoroastrian god of reason and intelligence. Mazda is the, I guess, Asian god of reason and intelligence. The god's name was Azuro Mazda,
Wow.
and that's why they chose Mazda. Now, that's a cool one, right?
It is, because I've often wondered. I mean, I think once on the show, on more than 200 episodes over 5 years, I did ask the question, where do car companies get the names of their model cars from? But you're talking about the actual
Right.
company name, not the
company
model.
name.
That's
I mean,
right,
like
yeah.
a lot of them, Cadillac, Chevrolet.
Right.
These were names
Named
of
after people.
Ford. Right, but these are not. No. And I'm sorry if I got Edward Smith too excited that he's now going to leave Vanilla and go
That's-
search out some Mazdas to
Right,
get
yeah,
a little,
exactly. Yeah.
some reason and intelligence, so
Right.
to speak.
He's a world traveler.
Nick and Roy will continue with totally useless information. We're back with totally useless information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
President Johnson, okay, would
Can't take it. I'm thinking about it. Go ahead.
are you okay now? You're fine?
I'm
Maybe
fine,
you should
yeah.
open up the door 3 or 4 times. Just open and close the door. You get a little hot.
I don't want to
when you're-
get excited opening
Exactly.
the door to my garage, but go ahead.
So, hey, it's a 2-car garage. So, President Johnson used to really, really freak out the people that he would take around in his car. Okay, he would drive an amphicar. It's like an amphibious car,
Oh, he had one of those?
and he would drive it towards the lake. Okay, so he
Yeah.
had passengers in the car, yelling that the brakes were out. But the passengers didn't know that this was an amphibious car. So the amphicar was both a car and a boat. So the passengers would find themselves floating on the water.
Yeah.
So that at that point, when he realized they were panicking, he would then engage the amphicar's propeller drive and take the passengers for a cruise around the lake.
Yeah, Edward Smith met a car one time that he took to the beach, and
Yeah.
it was an amphicar.
Right. Yeah.
Want to take a little swim, honey?
So imagine, so you're driving in a car and you're pretending that the brakes are not working, and you go into the lake, like, oh my gosh, like President Johnson.
Yeah, he was a nut, probably.
He was.
I
Was-
understand he was a big drinker.
But yeah, exactly. Now, wasn't he the president that whenever he held, not a press briefing, but when he had some members of the press in the Oval Office, that he would go to the bathroom while he was talking to the press and have the door open? Is that President Johnson?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Although one thing I have to say is I had a press brief.
Go on to your next fact before we get arrested.
I
Again.
don't have any more.
Oh, you don't? You're done? So we close the door on that one? Okay. See, there's nothing like a
Nick,
well-polished...
they can't put one over on you. I'm
No.
sorry.
You know what? There is nothing like a well-polished podcast and radio show as you're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy.
Hey, oh, you, where's your hard hat? Fasten your tool belts. This is totally useless construction info with Foreman Nick and Roy. Come on, let's go!
Wow.
She does scare me.
She means business.
Yeah. I
But
started building a house. I don't even need one.
just to get away from her, to shelter in place. A keystone or a capstone is the wedge-shaped stone at the apex of a masonry arch, or typically round-shaped one at the apex of a vault. In both cases, it's the final piece that's placed during construction and locks all the stones into position, allowing the arch or vault to bear weight. Keystone.
The keystone. Yeah, you ever look at the arches sometimes in the center of the circle, so to speak, the half circle?
Yep.
Is that wedged looking piece.
And that's it.
Sometimes it looks decorative, but it really must have a reason.
It just did. Yeah. It allows the arch to hold and bear weight. It's called a keystone.
Okay, so that was cool. We all know that Romans invented concrete.
Yes.
For years, the Hoover Dam was the largest structure ever made out of concrete. But that now has been dwarfed by the Grand Coulee Dam. 11,975,521 and 521 cubic yards of concrete. You have any idea what we're talking about? 11 million cubic yards? A cubic yard is 3 by 3 by 3 by 3.
Yeah.
11 million of them. That's insane.
So do you know where the Cooley Dam is?
No. Where is the? I would look low though. You know.
The Grand Coulee Dam is located on the Columbia River in central Washington State.
Ah, there you go. So the Cooley Dam in Washington State, 11, almost 12 million cubic yards of concrete.
Wow. Okay, so there's a cathedral, there are many cathedrals, but there's one in particular in San Francisco, St. Mary's Cathedral, was built in 1971. It was designed by local architects John Michael Lee and Paul A. Ryan and Angus McSweeney, collaborating with internationally known architects Peter Luigi and Pietro Belushi.
I'm still thinking about the Cooley Dam.
Right, yeah, I know you are.
And I was thinking maybe a whole roll of toilet paper for a Kardashian.
That's right. How about a case?
I'm sorry, Nick. I
okay.
didn't even hear what you had said.
Exactly.
But thank you for that fact.
So the cathedral measures 250 feet, 78 meters square. The cathedral soars to 190 feet high and crowned with a 55-foot golden cross. Now, the design
200-foot cathedral.
But the design process was controversial because the modern design was not loved by San Francisco's Catholics, who had, I guess it was a Roman Catholic church, who had previously worshipped in traditional churches. The church is known as the Our Lady of Maytag, because the roof, which also is, by the way...
She got in trouble for washing money.
No, she did not. So, a couple of things. So, first of all, it was designed to look like a conquistador's helmet. But they called it Our Lady of Maytag because the roof resembled a washing machine's agitator. St. Mary's Cathedral. So, it was designed to look like a conquistador's helmet, but they called it Our Lady of Maytag.
You know, you've been to Italy, so you get to see some really cool cathedrals and steeples and churches.
Great architecture. Absolutely.
It's amazing. It's amazing. But if you go to Barcelona, the Sagrada Familia, which is a church designed by the famed architect Gaudi, it is just, it's mind-boggling. It really is. You can literally, I get bored quickly, like the Niagara Falls, Grand Canyon. Sit there, okay, good, seen it, go. Stand there for 5 minutes. Listen, the Sagrada Familia, you could stand there for a couple hours and just see different things. It's just it really is amazing. So go there. But anyway, here we go. The largest building in the world was built in 2010. It stands an astonishing 828 meters high. It is the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. It is 828 meters high, dwarfing the Empire State Building.
That is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a French postman who spent 30.
Are you going to air out your dirty laundry?
No,
now?
no. It's clean. It's clean laundry.
Return to sender.
That's right. A French postman spent 33 years building the ideal palace. And this is how he did it. He did it with stones he collected during his daily rounds.
Oh, no. How cool is that?
Ferdinand Cheval spent 33 years picking up stones while delivering mail. Now, not just any stones, a special type of hardened sandstone molded by time and water into wondrous shapes. With these stones, he built the fantastical Le Palais Ideal. The building is considered a prime example of naive art, and in 1969 was designated a cultural landmark.
How cool is that? Plus, the guy probably had amazing calves and upper body strength from carrying all those rocks all those years.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, no one got their mail, but boy, what an incredible building.
Yeah. Well, the guy is something else.
Yeah,
his name is written in stone.
It is, and boy, there's no confirmation of this, but apparently, allegedly, he was stoned at the time.
That was really bad.
Yeah, thank you. That's why. No, that's why I said allegedly.
Allegedly. So I said the world's tallest building.
Yeah.
Let's go with the world's longest bridge.
Oh.
The Dan Yang Klingshan Grand Bridge.
Okay.
You ever notice this? The Chinese, they give these long names.
Yeah.
Dan Yang Kushan Grand Bridge. This is crazy. It's 164 kilometers in span.
Oh.
Okay. Which again is massive.
Right.
But not only that, underneath it supports a railway structure for their railroad system and cargo cars, not to mention the vehicles above it.
Nick and Roy will continue with totally useless information.
The Boxing Day sale at Tom's Place just never ends.
Hi, Nick and Roy for Tom's Place. We love bringing you incredible Boxing Week deals even into January. We're here for you every day and most importantly, on sale each and every day. Visit toms-place.com for all the details about the specials.
Ted Baker suits. Nick, Ted Baker suits, I love them. They're regularly $900 to $1,100. Let's just slash them. Tom's selling them for $500, but tell Tom you're a radio listener of this show and he'll take off more of the price, not his clothes.
Right. That's what right, yeah. Take off more. That's what Tom stands for. Take off more. Tom bought these suits on a great sale, no tariffs, and is passing the savings along to the consumer while they last.
Top coats, Jack Victor and others, wool and cashmere, they're now 50% off and all prices below $350 cashmere.
Amazing.
Jack Victor, Montreal and Canadian-made great suits using premium Italian fabrics. The deals are simply amazing, with prices even lower on shirts, sweaters, pants, coats, sport jackets, suits, and more. The prices you won't believe.
Visit Tom's Place at 190 Baldwin Street in Toronto in the heart of Kensington Market. It's the Tom's Place Extended Boxing Week sale, still happening now at Tom's Place. We're ready to suit you.
We're back with totally useless information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
Frank Lloyd Wright is a great.
I love Frank Lloyd Wright, my favorite architect of all time.
Well, and he has earned the right to be declared that. See what I did there?
Yes.
Frank Lloyd Wright.
Falling Waters is my favorite building of all time.
Well, how about this? He had a son, which is nice, and
but he didn't go into architecture. His name is Frank Lloyd Wrong.
No, not all iconic Lloyd Wright designs can be attributed to Frank. Lincoln Logs were the brainchild of John Lloyd Wright, his son.
No.
An architect in his own right, John was inspired by the interlocking beams of the foundation below Lloyd Wright Sr.'s Imperial Hotel in Tokyo. and
Wow.
came up with the concept of Lincoln Logs.
Yeah, you have to, folks, look up images of Falling Waters, a Frank
Yeah.
Lloyd Wright building
Yeah.
in, I believe it's North Carolina. It's just amazingly beautiful. It's a minimalist. He was a minimalist architect.
So is that where Falling
So
Waters is? Where is Falling Waters?
it's about a mile and a half from the Cooley Dam.
So hold on. So where exactly is Falling Water?
I'm not sure if it was North Carolina or, but go ahead.
Let's see. Hold on. Let me just see here. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. Falling Water is a house museum in Mill Run, Pennsylvania.
What did you do? Just wake up one of the staff members?
No, exactly. Designed, and she says hello. Designed by architect Frank Lloyd Wright, is named after the waterfall on the Bear Run stream that the house is built over.
It's simply amazing.
It is. There you
So
go.
Pennsylvania, folks. I've never been there, but it's one of my bucket lists.
It's it's worth a trip.
Yes. Yep. That and the Cooley Dam.
Right.
The oldest wooden structure in existence.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this one, when I saw it, I was like, I have got to figure this one out and find this out. The oldest living wooden structure in existence is in Japan. It is known as the Hiroji Pagoda. It is in Japan, and it was built in 607 AD.
Wow.
Now, that's a wooden structure that's still existing today, built in 607. But here's what I found completely and utterly astonishing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not only 1,400 years old, but the wood that was used, the trees that they used to make this in 607, the trees were 2,000 years old.
Oh.
So the wood that was used is 2,000 years on top of the 1,400, 3,400 years old. The wood is.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I'm glad they used concrete for the Cooley Dam.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Thank you for joining us. 80 countries around the world have done so, including the iHeartRadio network up in Canada, coast to coast to coast, all over North America. Thank you for joining us. Totally Uses Information with Nick and Roy, 5 years and counting. We thank you very much for your loyalty. We thank you for all of your emails, and we'll get into the email segment a little bit later. But if you go to nickandroy.com and you click on the Nick and Roy store, you can order your loved one a very special birthday message.
Birthday message is honestly one of the most amazing gifts. So go to nickandroy.com, click on the Nick and Roy store. You'll see a sample of a birthday message. Just think what it would be like to give someone that you know or love a gift of a show that we produce. And again, it's not AI, it's actually us and our staff finding out information about the day that person was born. It is such a cool gift. We get so many emails from people that received it, and not only that, their friends saying they can't wait to get one. So nickandroy.com, Nick and Roy store, click on birthday messages and listen to the sample.
nickandroy.com.
Down the garden path with Nick and Roy.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah.
The largest labyrinth in the world. It's located in Fontantelato, a small town in the province of Parma, Italy.
Ooh.
It's the world's largest labyrinth, created by Franco Maria Ricci, a publisher, designer, art collector, and bibliophile.
So labyrinth meaning like a maze.
Like a maze. So the intriguing garden comes from a promise that he made in 1977 to an Argentinian writer, Jorge Luis Borges. He had always been fascinated by the symbol of the labyrinth and also as a metaphor of the human condition. So the Labyrinthino della Mason is a complex covering around 8 hectares, not hectare the name, but hectares, with a path extending 3 kilometers long, the largest labyrinth in existence. It's made entirely of bamboo plants and numbering around 200,000 of them, between 30 centimeters and 15 meters in height, belonging to many species. So the largest labyrinth in the world.
This one is good because I want to go to England. Have you ever been to England?
No, I haven't, as a matter of fact.
Well, this year we're making a plan to go to France and England.
Okay.
We'd like to see both, so we're going to do that. But this is one of the places that I want to see.
Okay.
There is a garden in England called the Poison garden. You can look it up. It's called the Poison Garden.
Okay.
Visitors get to enter the garden and see well over 100 species of what they call murder plant species.
Oh, okay.
They are toxic. They will kill you.
Ooh.
When you visit there, you read a pamphlet first that says do not touch, smell, or eat any of the items that you may look at during your trip through the murder poison garden, the Poison Garden of England.
But someone's going to do that, right? Like someone's going to do it because it's like, do not walk on the grass. What do
Well,
they do?
Nick, only one person has to do that before it becomes pretty real.
Exactly.
And the guy giving the tour is like, oh, we have room for one more.
Jeez. Wow.
What moron would eat it?
Well, that's just it, right? Like, but they have to do that for insurance purposes, I would imagine.
Yeah, I could see touching it maybe or smelling it. I could see that, but you eat the poisonous thing? I mean,
No. Now, down in Florida, where it's really hot, as we've established, do you have a lot of dandelions on your lawns and stuff?
Don't tell me. Dum, 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 dum.
So
you have the dandelion one?
The benefits?
My next fact is about dandelions.
And how they're good? And how they're beneficial?
Yes, we do have dandelions, but go ahead. Let's see if I have something else.
Okay, so the reason why Roy is freaking out, other than him having like a coronary, is the fact that Roy and I agree to the topics, but we never really discuss the facts that we're going to present on the show. And from time to time, and it happens every once in a while because great minds think alike, and well, when that happens. And so what happens is we sometimes come across the same fact. So here's my dandelions are a good fact. Dandelions are now known to have many benefits, transforming gardeners' opinions from weed to wildlife plant. Their value to wildlife, providing food to many insects and birds, is perhaps the main reason they should be welcomed into our gardens. Their nectar and pollen-rich flowers appear over a long period and are loved by bees and butterflies, which is why dandelions are included in the Royal Horticultural Society Plants for Pollinators list.
Great. Now the segue. Dum, 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 dum. Dandelions are used for over 1,000 years. They were brought to the United States. So if I have a dandelion here in Florida, the seeds were brought by Europeans coming here to the New World.
Okay.
For 1,000 years, dandelions, the greens, meaning the leaves and stuff, were used for salads in Europe. The roots were served as a vegetable course, meaning they were cooked.
Okay.
Or the roots were dried and used as a substitute beverage for coffee. If coffee became drought-ridden and they couldn't get coffee, or they couldn't import coffee, they would use dandelion roots as a substitute. The flowers of the dandelion were used to make dandelion wine, and the pressing of it, the yellow color, was used to dye wool. So dandelions, what we look at as a weed, have so many amazing properties, and they were used for thousands of years. And so there you go. Look at that, folks. That was actually cool because we both had different facts about the dandelion.
That's right, and how the benefits of a dandelion.
Nick and Roy will continue with totally useless information. You're listening to Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. Listen, laugh, and learn.
What's in the mailbag? What's in the mail?
Well, I was looking through the mailbag this week and found Frida.
Hello, Frida.
Frida from Bonn, Germany.
Okay.
I think that's we've gotten a few from Bonn, Germany. That would be the capital city, I believe, right? Well, Frida says, funny, 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 funny. Okay. 4 funnies.
Thank you very much, Frida, for your email.
So we got 4 out of 5 funnies.
Right. Yes.
She says, I love your show. You guys really do make my day. I get to laugh and I get to learn. Listen, laugh, learn. She says, but what gets me the most is you singing the German national anthem every time you bring up something about Germany. Well, Frida, let me tell you this. Number one, my grandmother's name was Frida. She was from Mannheim, Germany. My
Right.
grandfather was from Bonn, Germany. So they were both on my mom's side. They were both Germans, and so I do speak some German.
Okay.
I can get by, but we do appreciate it. She says at the end that she tells everyone to listen to our show. Anyone that can understand English, she says, should listen to your show. They will have such a great time. Frida. That's 5 Fridas.
5 Fridas.
Thank you.
Thank you. How do you say thank you in German? German?
Dankeschön.
Dankeschön.
Yeah.
Sydney from Knoxville, Tennessee. Dear Nick and Roy, we really enjoy your show. We think you guys are hilarious together and often laugh with you. See, there you go. There's more laughing.
Yeah. These people
Well,
really have no sense of humor.
They
but
do.
go
Well,
ahead.
that's why we say listen, laugh, and learn. Here's my question. Sydney says, I have relatives from Britain, and they drive me crazy because of the way that they pronounce words with the letter H. Some relatives pronounce it as H, and others
Right.
H. So they actually put the H in there. Which is the correct way to pronounce it, and why? Thanks. So, for almost 2,000 years, the Brits have pronounced H in two ways, as Sydney says, H and H. Accents that dropped the H from the words were often considered lower class. What's more, different pronunciation of the letter also distinguished the Catholics from the Protestants in Northern Ireland. On the show today, we talked about cars, we talked about a new topic, construction, we talked about garden. It's time for the news.
And now, from around the corner and around the world, this is TUI News.
I couldn't wait to tell you about this one, man.
No?
To be honest with you, before we prepared our show today, I had something else, and then this came across. Came in like at the last minute, thanks to one of our research staff, and she says hi. Burglars have stolen 13 portable toilets from the Oxfordshire depot, leaving a company up to £12,000 out of pocket.
Wait. This is England. Somebody stole how many toilets?
Let's see if it says how many. It says 13 portable toilets.
13 portable toilets.
That's right. The general manager of Andy Lou's said the company's
Andy
Lou's.
Andy Lou's, Lou being
Right.
bathroom.
That's why I said in my teaser, this is a case of the Lou done it.
Wow, 12. That's a lot. You consider that a royal flush?
No, 13. It's a baker's dozen royal flush, he said in English. So the company site was broken into by a gang using angle grinders between 6:30 and 7:15 on the 8th of January. So not too long ago.
So they cut their way in.
That's
they
right.
used machinery.
Andy Lou's closed-circuit cameras captured the thieves loading up the toilet units on 2 vehicles, with another vehicle being used to keep watch outside the depot. A Thames Valley police spokesperson confirmed the force was investigating this.
They don't have to use the force. They can use some Lou-sniffing dogs.
That's right. They were wearing some loose-fitting clothing. The gang members were wore hooded tops as they used special trolleys to move the toilets from the depot onto the vehicles.
Let's hope they had hooded bottoms as well.
Well, maybe that was the issue. Maybe they really needed to go to the bathroom.
But what are they going to do with them? This is my question right off the bat.
Well,
what do you do with these? Repaint them and put them out in the public?
According to Amy Philpott, Andy Lou's general manager, they're not...
Oh, my God. Her name is Phil Pot.
Yes.
Phil Pot.
Yes. Well, not anymore. Amy
Good
Philpott...
thing her first name wasn't Poopy. Poopy Phil Pot.
So Amy Philpott of Andy Lou's is the general manager of the store. They're not chances. They've turned up. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were going for. It's the risk of the trade. We have plastic toilets out in vulnerable areas. They could be on.
Well, they consider this a risk of the trade.
Yes, because they could be on people's driveways or in fields, and you do lose the odd one.
Ah.
And-
so they would have to lose number 2,
Right.
and
Yeah,
couldn't lose
they,
1.
They
or
lose. They
4.
lose. So, and to have your yard broken into, which is what happened here, is really unheard of. It's a massive inconvenience. We have insurance that'll help cover.
Well, I'll tell you, it's inconvenient for the person that has to go.
That's right. Exactly. Yes, we have no lose. We
They're
have.
like, hold it. We're doing an investigation.
That's right. Hold it. Could you hold it, please? We have insurance that will help cover the cost, but it's a big hit for us, she says, where we worked hard for 35 years,
It's
invested
a
in our
big hit
fleet.
below the belt.
That's right. We worked for 35 years, invest in our fleet, and get toilets into depots. We haven't got them, sit there for someone to take. They're not there for people to take them. Somebody thought they'd come in and help themselves. It's not good.
No, this is never good. Never good to steal a proper loo,
Right. Or an improper loo. So police are urging anyone who might have seen the incident or has any information to get in touch.
Nick, these are large objects. These are not
They are.
small.
But there are 13 of them.
I mean, they had to have a flatbed truck.
Yeah, they...
Maybe they're just going around town charging people. Like, they pull up in a spot and they're like, anybody need to use the loo? Because, in Europe, they charge sometimes.
They do. You have to pay to pee. Is what I said, because we were traveling on our way to Italy, because we've told the audience that both you and I, not at the same time, but we visited Europe, and we drove through Germany and then Austria. In Austria, at one of those rest stops on the roadway, you had to pay €1 to use the washroom, and they have like one of these turnstiles like you would in a subway
Sure,
system.
you pay.
Yeah, exactly. That's all the time that we have on this episode of Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy. We will, as we promise, every week to scour
Can
the
we have updates on whether or not they found the perpetrators of this toilet fraud?
The loo fraud. What we're doing is this is a developing story, and any information that comes our way for any update.
You better believe it's
whatsoever-
developing. For some people, it comes very quickly, but others have to take their time, so to speak.
We will scour the internet to find out more totally useless information just for you.
And until then, you tell everyone you know about this show, because it's because of you that we've gone from a little show 5 years ago to 80 countries around the world, and millions of people have listened.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Roy.
Thanks for listening.
Totally Useless Information with Nick and Roy has been brought to you in part by Tom's Place, the finest in men's fashion. Located in Toronto at 190 Baldwin Street in the heart of Kensington Market. Or visit toms-place.com.